is attributed to INEC, and you can get details of that story on page 2. Let's move quickly to the Tribune for more stories. The first picture story there says drama as Oyegun inaugurates state APC chairman. Ajimobi congratulates Oke, sets up committee to woo aggrieved members. Unity Forum rejects him, heads for court. Details on page 4. And beside it, we have a couple of stories too. Civil war go on, restrained Nigerian troop against Biafra. Ekiti shooting, erring policeman dismissed CP. One died, 42 students in hospital as cholera hits Kaduna boarding school. And army rescues 58 sex slaves from Boko Haram. Details on page 34.
The prison jailbreak is a worrying situation. About 210 of them have escaped. So far, 182 are yet to be accounted for, which means only 28 of them have been re-arrested so far. I think, again, if you going back 2014, 2015, there was rampant cases of jailbreak, particularly in the North Central, Lokoja, Koton-Karefe area. And something seemed to have been done about it at that time. And throughout the year 2017, late 2016 and 2017, we didn't have such incidences. And they are now coming up in the offshore. Something must be done very drastically to arrest this development. Talking about the policeman who shot Honorable Okoyemi, the Commissioner of Police, Bello Ahmed, says he has been dismissed from the police, and as soon as he is recovered and is charged from hospital, he will face the appropriate legal processes. The politician who brought him from Lagos to Ekiti for the process has also been detained, and he is also being questioned. Meanwhile, the Commissioner of Police has summoned a meeting with all the political parties, and they have all agreed that the election coming up July 14, the gubernatorial election in Ekiti, should see a maintenance of peace before, during, and after the election. The running story about sexual mass in Unilag, you remember? Now, the Unilag branch of the Academic Staff Union have demanded an independent investigation into the allegations. He, however, says that it should be assumed that the alleged professor is innocent until proven guilty. Meanwhile, the female student who allegedly published the information on the internet has not been identified, and the Unilag authority had promised to set up an investigation panel. Apparently, so far it has not been done. But the lecturer that was so allegedly involved in the sex for mass scandal says that his phone was stolen, and the nude pictures that have been put on the social media were taken from his telephone just merely to blackmail him.
But that's fine. I mean, when the actual University of Lagos calls for an independent investigation or inquiry, what does that mean? What is going to be independent? You're looking for outsiders to come and investigate the case? That's one. But with regard to the policeman who was alleged to have been involved in the accidental discharge in Ekiti over the weekend, I think there are a number of concerns, for the police authorities themselves. First, it is the Ekiti Police Commissioner, that's Commissioner of Police in charge of the Ekiti State Command, that is announcing this. In the meantime, the other information was that the policeman himself came from Lagos.
Yes.
So what does the Police Commissioner of Lagos say? Because the police officer, whether it was rank and file or other rank, came from his command and jurisdiction. Who has dismissed him now? Is it Lagos or is it Ekiti? The Commissioner for Police in Ekiti, Bello Ahmed, we have had him as a guest on Good Morning Nigeria when he was on special assignment with regard to the farmers' herdsmen clashes in Benue. But more worrisome is this. Why resort to what is obviously a knee-jerk response? Is dismissal, the first or the ultimate decision for the police authorities for such an officer? Especially, this is an officer who has been trained in weapons handling. Whose weapon did he come with from Lagos to Ekiti? You dismiss him now and he's out there in the field. In the upper robbery, if you recall,
yes,
one of the suspects was a dismissed police corporal. He had been in the force and he had been alleged to have been freeing armed robbery suspects, and he was dismissed. He turned around to become an armed robber himself, and he was the one that actually led the onslaught against police officers during the upper robbery, in which 9 police officers were killed. So anything that happens, you dismiss. Anything that happens, you dismiss. I believe that there should be other ways of sanctioning errant police officers.
That is well taken in, because at the end of the day, even the armed robbers, the kidnappers that had lined the Kaduna Abuja route, many of them were said to have been dismissed service officers who are experts in handling weapons but are today out of service. So there must be a way of tracking some of these officers who have, for one reason or the other, been removed from service. The editorial.
The editorial is from this day newspaper, and it's at page 15, and the headline is "Uncovering Frauds in Banks." It says that the level of fraudulent cases and magnitude of losses in banks would ultimately exceed the discoveries of the NDIC, that's the Deposit Insurance Corporation, as the corporation's findings were only predicated on reported cases. It adds that what is particularly irksome is the level of negligence and carefree attitude by the management of the various banks involved.
Well, the reports are very frightening, because by way of volume, they say losses in the bank are to the tune of about 3.33 billion naira. That is from fraud, and the quantum of fraud, particularly in comparative terms, within the year 2017, there's been 26,180 reported fraud, compared to 16,751 that were there in 2016. So apparently, there's been 56.3% increase. That tells you that the fraudulent practices are on the increase. One of the way that the editorial says some of the challenges have been eliminated was the introduction of the bank verification number. However, there is need for them to also check instances of corruption, internal abuses, and internal collusion, particularly with outsider between banking staff on the other. Another worrying development is outrageous targets that are often given to bank officials. So they are compelled to indulge in fraudulent activities to meet some of these targets.
All right. By your trading, that's the most that we can take. We'd like to thank you for being around. See you tomorrow, midweek edition of Good Morning Nigeria. Let's take a short break now. When we return, of course, we'll get into our subject for conversation this morning.
It's not a joke. It incites genocide and crimes against humanity. Most of Africa's civil wars are caused by hate speech from one side against another. We don't want to hear. The Nigerian government stands firm against hate speech.
Under no conditions whatsoever should we tolerate or excuse or justify hate speech or hateful conduct of any kind, especially when such is illegal.
There's no doubt that the insurgent push for separatism, as well as the rising cases of ethnic and religious disharmony, are all visible to the growing phenomenon of hate speech.
Peace and unity.
Nigeria, one nation, one people.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by NTA.
Sit up Supreme Noodles. Captain the tasty goodness. It's the Sit Up Supreme Chicken Essence that gives you the truly delicious chicken taste. Real chicken essence. Be Supreme Nigeria.
For 19 unbroken years, successive elected governments have tried to raise the bar in their efforts to deepen democracy and maintain its inherent principles in the act of government. So we ask, what's the big deal about the past 3 years of democratic rule in Nigeria under the present administration? Join me as I unfold the baggage put together by our correspondents in this special program to mark the 3rd year of the present administration.
The Nta Television College draws admission forms for diploma program in film and television production, television engineering technology, broadcast journalism, and degree programs in mass communication, television journalism, and mass communication television production is now on sale. The sale of forms will commence 14th May and run to 13th August 2018 at the cost of 7,500 Naira only per form, payable through the remitter platform in favor of Nta Television College Jos. Funds can be obtained from all marketing offices in Nta State Capital Stations, zonal centers, trading directorate of the Nta headquarters Abuja, and the office of the academic secretary of the Nta Television College. Applicants are required to possess 5 credits in GCE, SSCE in relevant areas of study, including English and mathematics, with not more than 2 sittings. All completed forms attached with photocopies of credentials must be submitted on or before the 13th of August 2018 to the stations where the forms were obtained. For further inquiries, please contact the office of the academic secretary on these numbers. Announcer, Registrar.
Brought us as usual.
As usual.
As usual,
You don't understand? We want Nigeria homegrown life. Finish.
Join the rice revolution today.
no other rice that tastes like Nigerian rice. Are you sorry? Look, we want that the Nigerian rice we are talking about. I've not made the Nigerian rice. Healthy food. I want to bring me this food every day. We come to chocolate rice of we are doing in Nigeria here. And see how it are made. Correct. How they are cooking. Correct. Homegrown rice are good for your health. It can boost our economy and give employment to our people.
This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
You're still watching Good Morning Nigeria on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority, the NTA. Let's now join Nta Interviews for the background report that will kickstart our conversation.
Nigeria, no doubt, is rich in solid mineral resources. More than 40 different types of solid minerals and precious metals, including gold, iron ore, bitumen, and marble, to mention a few, are buried in Nigerian soil, waiting to be explored. Prior to independence in 1960, the mining sector contributed about 4 to 5% to the nation's GDP. At that time, Nigeria was among the top 10 producers of tin in the world, and also a major producer of coal. Then the nation struck oil, and the solid mineral sector suffered neglect and went moribund. To say the least, Nigeria loses a whopping 8 trillion naira annually in unexploited gold deposits alone. And despite having the second largest deposit of iron ore in Africa and the 12th largest globally, the country has ironically imported $3.3 billion worth of steel for its industrial needs. The sector has been largely bedeviled by illegal mining activities occasioned by the lack of legal framework, limited geoscience data on the sector, lack of infrastructure, among others. But with the economic diversification agenda of the Buhari administration, things are looking up in the mining sector, which is being repositioned for full-scale exploitation. The reforms in the last 3 years included a comprehensive roadmap and legal framework for the mining sector and a crackdown on illegal mining activities through a special mine surveillance task force. Apart from vigorous policing of the sector, government's licensing of small-scale and artisanal mining activities is conserving revenue that were previously lost to illegal mining. There is also a 12% levy on imported steel into the country, with proceeds expected to end up in a steel fund that is warehoused at the central bank to support the local industry. With the reforms introduced by the Buhari administration, the mining sector's contribution to the federation account tripled to about 2 billion naira in 2016 from 700 million naira in 2015. And by November last year, the sector's revenue hit an all-time high of 3.5 billion naira. What measures are required to turn Nigeria's fortunes around in the mining sector, and how can the gains by the Buhari administration in the sector be upscaled? These will form part of discussions on Good Morning Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Nta, for that background report. Now, joining us in the Abuja studios here to discuss these issues in further detail, would like to welcome at this time the Honorable Minister of State for Mines and State Development, Abubakar Bawa Buhari. Honorable Minister of State, pleasure to have you with us on the program.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Also here with us, Honorable Janet Adeyemi, who is President, Women in Mining in Nigeria. Pleasure to have you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. From our Lagos Network Center, we're being joined by Ademola Gbadegesin. He's a mining investor and managing director of a firm that is based in Jos, Plateau State. Mr. Gbadegesin, pleasure to have you with us on the program. So we have Sani Shehu. Sani Shehu, not Shehu Sani, that's the senator. But this is Sani Shehu, he's President Miners Association of Nigeria. Sani, pleasure to have you with us again on Good Morning Nigeria.
The mining sector, as you know, Honorable Minister, is the frontier of opportunity, especially in our current economic reality. And many countries are taking advantage of that opportunity. And knowing how well endowed Nigeria is, where are we at the moment? Have we made appreciable progress or we're stagnant?
Thank you very much. And I want to say that when this administration came in, our mandate was to improve the mining sector because of the diversification program of this present administration. We are given the marching orders to address three things: improve revenue, job creation, and safer mining methods. I think we'll be able to do we'll be able to record appreciable success in some of these areas. When we came in, we met a lot of challenges, and those challenges have been taken one after the other to resolve. The first challenge we met was funding. Now we have improved funding in the sector. Our budgets have improved from 1 billion in 2015 to about 10 or so billion now for the ministry. We've also been able to get funding from the intervention fund, about 30 billion naira. We've accessed up to 15 billion now. And what we've been able to do is to address some of the challenges with the funds. Challenges of data, which is very important. Without data, you cannot really do serious mining. So half of the money will be going into exploration to really ascertain what we have, in what quantity, and what quality. In that, we've gone a long way because we'll be able now to retrieve data that was produced by an exploration company in 2006 and was not paid for. We now have our electromagnetic data, and the whole world now is looking towards Nigeria because of the data we have. It has to do with areas with gold. We also have funding now from World Bank, about $150 million. Very soon we'll start accessing the money, and we will use that in also addressing some of the artisanal problems we are having. Right now, with the intervention fund, we'll be able to allocate some money to the Bank of Industry to really assist the artisanal miners, because mining in Nigeria is basically in artisanal form and a small scale. So with the money in Bank of Industry, we have 5 billion in Bank of Industry. Small scale miners can access 10 to 100 million loan from the bank, and with very low interest rate of 5%. And the artisanal miners can access from 100,000 to 10 million. That was never done before. We've never accessed the natural resources fund. We've never given loans to our artisanal miners.
What we succeeded in doing is to organize them so that these illegal activities we see always can be curbed. So illegal smuggling, illegal mining. With this loan, we'll be able to organize them into cooperatives, and they can now access this. We'll be doing that, we'll be solving 2 or 3 problems. Creating jobs for the small scale or artisanal miners, more revenues for government, and we are now able to monitor their mining activities for safer mining. We've also been able to improve our relationship with the states, the federal government and the state government. Today, we've been able to achieve 2 things in that area: creating an enabling environment for investors that will go to states. Because the problem we always have is that the states claim to have the land. Yes, the governor has right over the land, but we control the natural resources.